Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here on our Friday review. Excited. It's Friday. If you're listening to this on Friday, I hope you have an amazing weekend with lots of great plans, whether it's relaxation or getting out there, hopefully enjoying maybe a little bit of that spring weather as we're creeping now into April. I know I'm always excited this time of the year because I know that the seasons change. And it's not that I dislike winter. It's that I just don't love winter after the holidays, that it just kind of extends on a bit too long. So for me, I love to be able to see those seasons changing. It's a beautiful thing in nature. And I love to get out there. I love to be able to do some of my cardio workouts outside, getting some fresh air, running around. And now that I no longer have allergies, I'm certainly grateful every single time I'm outside without the itchy eyes that are basically swollen shut. Always a good thing, right? Always a good thing not to have swollen shut eyes. So if you've never heard my story on allergies and essentially how I got rid of them by rebalancing my gut and hormone levels, well, then I would certainly check that out. And remember, if you're ever missing a podcast, if you can't find one, all you have to do is write in. Just write in at cabralsupportgroup.com. It's a free Facebook group. You don't need to use Facebook for anything else except asking questions in that group and lending others support as well. The other thing I wanted to share with you right now is that we just kicked off our spring detox. Always an amazing time of the year. This spring detox is certainly one of my favorites. And the reason is that this is spring and fall are the most normal times for the human body to do a detox. They are the most imperative times that you do a detox. And that is because during the winter, it's been said through every different forms of medicine except conventional medicine that the body stores more heat, more acids, and it does that just for thermogenesis and heat and all of those different things. That's why sometimes we crave now more salads during the spring and maybe even some citrus fruits or other items like that than maybe we do in the winter, right? So we have to understand that there's kind of a time and place for everything. And although we do a detox every season, and I still highly recommend that, the spring one is one of our biggest, and this one's absolutely amazing with over 10,000 people from all around the world participating from the 4th, what's the date that it ends, to the, 10th. So that is when we're all coming together for 7 days, but I know many more people are going to be doing it for 21 days. So there's no wrong time to do it. Do it anytime you want during the month of April. If you haven't already participated, I can't recommend it enough. That is our spring detox. That is what I'm doing right now as well. And honestly, I very much enjoy it. You know, it's not always the easiest or most fun doing your, liquid fasting days and, your family's having dinner. But the truth is, I'm having my shake. And I'm also sharing with my 2 daughters why I'm doing this. And now they just say like, oh, you're doing your detox? And they're like, yes, And so it's never a bad thing, even if your kids don't understand it yet, to teach them, to share with them why you're doing these things, how you're keeping themselves healthy, because one day there will be adults. And when they're adults, they'll think back and they'll remember like, oh, this is kind of what you do when you become an adult. You're not in as much of the always anabolic stage of growth. You actually want to be able to break down and remove a lot of these negative things and pathogens in the body as well. So again, I'm never more excited for anything that we do in any of our protocols, although of course I love all the different protocols we have, the Parapro, the Parasite Cleanse, we do the CBO, we do all sorts of great ones, heavy metal detox, etc. But the detox is so simple and so straightforward, and it just plain works. That's it. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you probably do, but if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can find all the details at stephencabral.com/detox. I have a free course on it at stephencabral.com/courses. You don't even need to use the Equal Life Detox. I teach you in the course, which is free, all the different things to do. So again, super excited about it. And hopefully you've been joining me this week. All right. What is going on over at Equal Life this week? That's a great question. What is going on? This week, we are giving away one of our most popular products we've ever given away, and that's our Activated B Complex. People use this every single day. They take their daily nutritional support for breakfast, and then at lunch, they take 1 capsule of the Activated B Complex, and they take another capsule at dinner. And they enjoy the benefits of the anti-stress, of the increased energy and the overall improvement with supporting healthy levels of inflammation through methylation. So huge fan of this product. It was a game changer for me and my genes, my genetics, that's for sure. And that's something I want to be able to share with you as well. So you can get your free bottle. It's a $29.95 free value with all qualifying orders. And this is international as well. So all of our international friends can take advantage of it. And you can find that at StephenCabral.com/shop. StephenCabral.com/shop. And you can check that out. We do hope to have the CBD products on our website in the future. We're working with banks. It's literally just politics. That's all that it is. But right now it's at equilibriumcbd.com is our CBD site. All right. One day we'll get them back on Equilife. Okay. That is it for the updates there and what we have going on at Equilife. This week, if you haven't tuned into the podcast, I hope that you have. On Monday, we talked about non-negotiables and are you tracking your minutes? Like, do you know where your minutes are going? Because if you haven't achieved your goals, it's honestly because you are saying yes to too many things. You really are. And you're forgetting about what priorities are your main priorities that you've said to yourself that this is what I want to accomplish. So dig deep on that show. Take some time, listen to it. That's 2250. 2251 is how to increase your growth hormone naturally. We all need that as we start to get older for our skin, for our hair, for our energy, mitochondria, you name it. All right. 2252 was internal versus external fat loss fixes. That's a really important one because I do not want to see people diet themselves into oblivion and over-exercise. Never a good thing. All right. So yesterday's show, was a quick intermittent fasting tip. I want you to check that out as well. I wanted to basically have us to start to think about why we are fasting in general and when we need the most fuel. And if you can kind of think of it that way, it'll start to make more sense into a lot of the recommendations I've made in the past. All right. So that is it for our podcast recap. We've got a great product review this week. I've been testing out. If you've been following my Instagram stories, hopefully you have been. I post at least a few times a week in the stories about things that I'm doing in my own life. And I've been working, not working with the company. I've been using their product though called BioStrap. So I'm going to show you the 3 different products that I have. This one right here is the activity monitor that you wear on your forearm. So all you do is you roll, you're going to wear short sleeves or when you're exercising, and you're going to wear this about 2 inches or so below your elbow, like so. You're probably not going to have a dress shirt on like I am. And what this does is this gives you real heart rate in real-time activity plus HRV. Now, heart rate's one thing because it shows your exertion level. How hard are you pushing yourself, right? If you're using the 220 minus your age, then okay, that's your max exertion. Again, if you're just using that model. But what you may not know is that you'll get a better indicator of how hard you're pushing your body based on your heart rate variability. So if your normal heart rate variability, let's say, is a 45, and you're down to a 22 while you're pushing yourself, you could say, okay, during this instance, this is a lot of stress on my body. The other times where I found this useful is in a sauna. So if I'm in a 140 degree infrared sauna, I'm not pushing my body as hard. If I'm in a 185 outdoor barrel sauna, which I have, and I'm wearing this, and the heat is penetrating my body to a greater degree, my HRV is going to go down a bit. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means at that moment, my body is under more stress. All right. So this is fantastic for while you are doing a stressful based activity. It could be a cold plunge. You could be looking at how stressed your body is in terms of HRV as well as your heart rate. Okay. I'm going to get to the one on my wrist in just a second. Now, you don't have to use all of these. I'm just letting you know I tested them out. So maybe you don't have to use all of them, right? This one right here is their activity, and it's just basically a really accurate pedometer. And it will track your steps essentially better than anything else. Why? Because if you look through the side right here, I know if you're watching this in video, obviously you can see this, but I'm going to talk you through it if not. This is about the size of like the top of your thumb, and it has a little clip on the back, and you can just clip it onto your shoelaces or anywhere on your shoe, or it comes with a little strap as well. You put it around your ankle if you want. And it will give you the best indicator of how many steps you've actually taken, of how much movement you've taken. And the reason is that oftentimes what we wear on the upper body is greatly exaggerating the steps that we've taken because we're moving with the upper body, but not necessarily the lower. Now, you might say, well, I'm active, so I'm going to count that as steps. I don't necessarily know that I'd argue with you, but for sure, you're not on your feet, right? So I think it's important to maybe look at that. So this is a very accurate way to track those steps. That's what I found. This is the little step piece device. Now, the sleep tracker, that's what I call it. It's just the wristband by BioStrap. I found it to be the most useful out of all of them. Okay, so if you are, I'm going to take off this forearm one. If you are not going to use the step one, which I don't, to be honest, like I liked it. I like to measure it against the accuracy of the wrist one and the other devices I wear. But this one right here for your wrist is one of the most accurate sleep trackers you will ever use. And I'm going to share with you why. You know that I've used all of the major devices out there right now. So I'm not going to name those. I'm going to do a head-to-head on a follow-up show. So stay tuned in the next couple of weeks. I'll do a follow-up of BioStrap versus a couple of the other companies. And what I want to share with you is this. There is this is what I found. And again, I'm going to be able to back this up because I've used the chest straps and I've used the little Holter monitor to test my heart rate variability. And what I found, heart rate variability is so important, by the way, and go back to my shows on heart rate variability if you haven't listened to those before. But heart rate variability essentially shows how much your body's under stress. And I found that the further you get away from your heart for tracking heart rate variability, the weaker the signal. Meaning not actually, they can track the signal, but the lower your heart rate variability will show up. So if you have a device on your finger, it's going to be lower than a device on your wrist. If you have a device on your wrist, it's going to be a little lower than one on your forearm. And your forearm seems to be lower than one that you may wear around your chest. Now, the problem is it's inconvenient to wear one around your chest. I mean, that's the bottom line all day long. It could slip down. If you're sweating, it's not necessarily the most comfortable. If you're using the one with the little sticky pads, you need to keep replacing the sticky pads, wearing the shower. It's not always ideal. So certainly the forearm or wrist is much more ideal. And that's what I've realized is that this is the most accurate heart rate variability monitor that I've used to date, especially overnight. And one of the reasons is that it keeps taking your heart rate variability throughout the night, and it uses a scatter plot, and it actually shows you the scatter plot. So it's not static. Like, again, let's say your heart rate variability is a 45. So it'll show you that during the night, you at some point you're at a 22 and a 27. You were also at a 68. You were at a 72. But if you look at around your mean, it was a 45. And so it actually shares with you that data. Now I'm going to open up my app right now because they have an app that it connects to, and the app is also. I can't even say that it took me time to get used to it because I didn't follow any instructions. I just opened it up and I just started clicking around in it. I put everything on airplane mode, and this is also the easiest to put on airplane mode. You literally just click settings, and it's the second button down to put it on airplane mode. Now, if I go to my dashboard, which shows me everything for the day, I just click on that. It says, okay, how did you sleep last night? So my sleep was a 99. It's never been a 99. I'm just showing off literally because it was just fortuitous that I'm doing the review here today. But it's because I was in bed for almost 8 hours and 45 minutes last night. I was asleep for the majority of that time. I got an insane amount of deep sleep, which my typical deep sleep is like an hour and a half to 2 hours. But last night I got 2.5 plus hours of deep sleep. The one caveat I will say is that this does not track your REM sleep. And that's because the company doesn't believe that REM sleep is as accurate tracking right now on any device, unless you're doing, I believe they said an EEG, but I apologize if I had that mixed up, which I can respect. But my deep sleep is comparable to other devices that I use. It just looks different during the night. So I can't say it's a 1-for-1. Having said that before, my recovery was only a 65 last night, which is not great. So This app really doesn't sugarcoat things. Meaning I did a hard weight training workout yesterday, and it's showing that my heart rate was a little elevated last night, more than normal, right? So my heart rate last night was like 57 as the norm, where typically it's in the low 50s. And it's showing my oxygen saturation was 1 point lower than it typically is. My breath rate, instead of being like 13.8, was a 14. And my heart rate variability was down about, on average, 7 or 8 points. So these aren't bad things. This is because your body's not static. So it showed that I had a hard workout and that my body is recovering from that. But now tonight, when tonight's a cardio day, it will then show a great increase because a hard response of the body, your body can recover and actually respond and show even better. So I do like that it doesn't necessarily sugarcoat it, because I do hard workout, cardio, hard workout, cardio, hard workout, 2 days of rest on the weekend like that. And then I'm just active on the weekend. All right. The dashboard also shows you the steps. The steps are the most accurate as well. The other activity monitor that what I use all the time, if you follow me, it is exaggerated in terms of steps. But again, once you know that, it's okay. It's not like there's anything wrong with that at all. It just exaggerates your steps by like 10% to 15% per day. The heart rate variability on the other device I'll be talking about that is typically a little lower than baseline. This does a great job at resting heart rate. It's basically a 1-for-1. The calories is very close. This does oxygen saturation. Most of the other ones don't do oxygen saturation, or they only give you like 3 points overnight. Respiratory rate is a 1-for-1. So like I said, I can give this a great review. I didn't know, honestly, the first 5 days, I didn't even know if I was going to review the product because I don't give negative reviews to a product. But the problem is that it's learning over 5 days. So you have to give this device at least a week. And I even wrote into the company and they were super nice about answering my questions. I've only been using it 2 weeks. They say you're still not even going to get all of your best recovery and sleep data based on who you are for at least 4 weeks in, because they only have 14 days of your data, or for me, like 13 days of data. So I like that it responds with you and grows with you over time. It's not uncomfortable to wear to bed. This is easy to wear to bed. You can actually wear it up a little bit on your wrist, like I do. I actually wear it down away from my joint, and so I don't feel any tension whatsoever. It's a rubber band. The band tucks under. Super easy to use. So like I said, I can go on, and I actually will give you additional updates when I do a head-to-head against all my devices that I like, because all the ones I review, I like. Why would I choose this over another one? If you just want to use it for sleep, this definitely tracks your steps as well. It does a great job for steps, so no doubt about it. But if you want to get the best and most accurate HRV overnight and oxygen overnight and breath rate overnight, this is the device. So I think I can give the edge to other devices in some areas, but if HRV overnight, oxygen overnight, and breath rate, and it does great on heart rate as well, then it's this device. And it's very simple. It's very easy to wear. You can even take it off during the day. Super easy to put on airplane mode. All you do is pop it on the charger and it will sync. It takes about 5 minutes or so to sync, so it's not instantaneous, and then it will bring up all of that data. So that is my review of the BioStrap. I use a lot of time here today for it, but whenever I do a tech review, I want to give you a full review to see if it's the right fit for you. I'm going to see if the company will give our community a discount. So head on over to StephenCabral.com/2254. StephenCabral.com/2254. I'll also put it on my resources page at StephenCabral.com/resources. And again, if we can get any type of discount, especially for those listening to the show today, we'll absolutely pass that along to you. All right. So that is that. I'm going to skip my herb of the week. I hate skipping anything that I always say that I'm going to bring to you, but this was a big review. I want to be respectful of your time. I like to keep it to about 20 minutes per day. But what I want to do is bring you some research for the day. I'll be back, of course, with my herb of the week next week. All right. So I know that we are moving towards allergy season, and that's oftentimes a reason that people have a little bit more of a runny nose or itchy eyes. But for a lot of the Northeast, there's still cold days. There's no doubt about it. Or not just the Northeast, the whole north of the country. And so I wanted to share with you, it's just something I read from Harvard Men's Health. So they had just a quick little excerpt. They said, runny nose in the winter, in the cold season, it can still be cold, again, I want you to keep this in mind, is not always a sign of an illness. It is the normal, healthy way your nasal passages react to cold temperatures. Breathing cold, dry air causes your nasal passages to secrete water and mucus, thanks to the warm, blood-filled membranes behind your nasal cavities, whose job it is to heat up the air you breathe. It is effectively like a mini steam bath in your nose. The resulting condensation runs down your nostrils. It may be gross and inconvenient, but it's also perfectly healthy. All right, so I just wanted to share that with you because, again, if it happens when you go from hot to cold, that can be the reason. I just wanted to also share with you, though, that there are other reasons, like during allergy season, or if you ate some spicy foods or things like that, or you have a histamine-based issue, your body can actually increase mucus secretions because it may actually be bringing more of an inflammatory response to the areas affected, meaning breathing pollen into your nose and your eyes as well, creating more mucus. One, to flush the area. That's a big one. That's what mucus does as well. But also another thing that it does is it can also, along with that mucus, secretory IgA, it can bring immunoglobulins. It can bring those white blood cells to be your first line of defense, to actually gobble up and break down any of those pathogens that may be entering your body. So I'm going to keep it at that today. One research study. We've got a big product review. We did a recap of the week. Hopefully that's helpful. I'll be back with our herb of the week. And then, of course, 2 research studies each and every week for you. Thank you so much. Let me know what you thought. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support and enjoy your weekend.